Alright, so today we're going to work on some constructions. The first thing we're going to construct is a segment parallel to the given line segment through the given point. And so when you think of parallel, you want your line to end up looking something like this. We don't want the lines not to touch. So it's just a good idea to know where you are going with this. So there's lots of different ways to do this. I think one of the easiest ways is, first off, turn your paper so everything lines up. And now put your compass on your point. Put the center right on that dot. And now all you're going to do is you're going to pick a number so that when you turn your compass, it hits the line. Now, it really only needs to hit the line once, but I'm going to pick a nice number, nice easy number to work with, like 40, maybe 50. 30 wouldn't really work because you can see it doesn't really hit the line. So I'm going to use 40. And when I do this, I'm actually going to draw almost a half circle. So again, all I did is I put my center on the point that was given, and then I drew a 40 that went through the line all the way over. Now I really only care right now about this point. I actually am going to ignore this. I'm going to pretend like that's not even there. So we drew a 40, and I like to draw right what I drew. I drew a 40. Now I go back to this point. Let's go ahead and call it A. Let's put our center on A and draw that 40 again. So when I draw 40, you see that it goes through the line and it touches. Now, again, I'm ignoring this, so this is my new point. We'll call it B. Now, put your center on B and draw 40 again. Now, this time when we draw the 40, we want it to be up here, kind of towards that pink line we drew. And it's going to hit that other part of the circle. So it hits right here. We'll call that C. And so now you're going to connect these two dots. Make a nice straight line. And so now these two lines are parallel. And so when we have parallel lines, we put these little arrows on it, indicating that they're parallel. So that's a pretty simple, easy way to construct parallel lines. We start at the center, we draw basically half a circle, and we work our way around. Starting at A, we drew another arc, which was the same, so this was a 40. Then we started from our new point B, drew a 40, and so they hit, connect them, parallel lines. The second construction we're going to do today is going to be for perpendicular lines. Okay. So for perpendicular lines, we are going to want our lines to make right angles. So I'm going to do number 6. And so here, I'm expecting it to look something like this, where the lines cross to make a T or whatever shape you want to use. Alright, so now this one, let's go ahead and call this point A. Put your center on A. And now you can pick any number you want. The thing is, the number you pick, it has to go through the line twice. So I'm not going to use 30. 30 just, looks like it barely touches it. I want to use a nice number that goes through the line twice. Looks like I'm going to use 40 again. So I draw my 40. And so I like to write the number I use. And so now when it touched this line, it created points. We'll call this B. We'll call this C. And so now we're going to put our center on B. And we're going to draw a 40 again, this time below the line. So I draw my 40. I'm going to go to C and do the same thing. Draw my 40. And so you see the two arcs we drew, they crossed. We'll call it D. And now we're going to connect A and D. Now these two segments are perpendicular, and so we'll put the little right angle box. And so you might be asking yourself, well, do I always have to use the same number? And the answer is no. If you go back to B and just pick a different number, let's say 30, draw a 30, go to C and draw a 30, you notice they land right on the line that we just drew. So you can use any number as long as it's large enough so that it's more than halfway between B and C. Alright, so that's enough for you to get started. I will go ahead and do number 8 because there's a couple of these where the point's on the line. And so if you remember, our first step here was to start at A and draw an arc that touches the line. And so if the point's on the line, what do? You basically do the same thing. So let's go ahead and call this A. So now put your center on A, and we're going to want to draw an arc that touches the line twice. And so you can see I'm not going to have enough room, so I'm going to have to use the inside circle. And so that just means you need to hold your compass really tight here, and then pick one of these numbers. Doesn't matter. I'm going to use 19. And so I'm just going to draw an arc that touches both. So we'll call this new point here B. We'll call this new point here C. And so now put your center on B and just pick a number. So the only thing about your number is your number you pick has to be bigger than, has to go past halfway. So I'm going to pick, well, I guess let's do 40 again. So below it, I'm going to draw a 40. And then I'm going to go to C and draw a 40. And so where these two points cross is D. Connect A and D together. Draw your little right angle box. And so that's how you construct perpendicular lines.